I am here today with our special guest, and I think you've been on the channel once before, right? In a like not in a live, but in another video. So,
Yes,
all right.
couple
So
of
I'm
them.
here with Amit Kumar. He is the CEO and founder of SEO agency RankZenith, which is also how you can find him on Legit as RankZenith. And welcome, Amit. It's really early for you, so I appreciate that. Maybe just tell us a little bit about you and your background, and we'll go from there.
Sure. Thanks, Chris. Thanks for having me here. Congratulations to you. Well done, mate. Appreciation takes you a long way. Um, Guys, my name is Amit, and I run an agency called RankZenith. I started about 8 years ago in SEO. That's mainly my bread and butter. I started with Legit a couple of years ago and doing fairly well. As everyone else, I initially took it very lightly because you would think like other platforms, it's gonna be slow, it's gonna take time because you're not ranking. How to get an order, Chris's favorite question, and all of that. But Chris being Chris, he was very helpful from day one, and I was fortunate to get access to him. He helped me through, and yeah, here I am talking to him on a live video chat, talking about stuff that we do. So, look, with SEO, I think I'm not going to talk about SEO to a lot of you guys because you know what we're talking about. The four main pillars that we always check for: technical, um, content, on page, and off page. The four main pillars that SEO stands on. So, I've been doing a lot of testing. I've got a lot of affiliate sites. I've got a lot of rank and rent leech, and I've sort of tried my hands in everything. And when it comes to audit, I think you can try and do as much as you can eventually, but you need to know how to bend in front of Google gods at the end of the day. So yeah, Chris, thank you for having me on the channel, and yeah, looking forward to sharing some knowledge.
Great. So you talked about audits. Can you tell me why that's super important to like start a campaign with and maybe do again from time to time? And just what's the value in doing one? Why not just go in blindly and just do whatever?
Oh, thank you for asking that question. So when I say audit, it's not just audit, it's a strategy as well, technically, because what you're trying to do is you're trying to put the foundation of any website. And I always say that before you plan your website, you should plan your SEO strategy. The reason for that is it's great to have a website, but it's going to be a banner behind the tree if you don't do SEO, if you don't do the right SEO audit before you get into that website. Because you and I both have seen millions of websites where people just put something together, snap it on. Developers charge you an arm and a leg to put it together, but it's got no relevance. No one can find you unless you give someone a business card physically and they have to go type in that website address. So audit strategy in the initial is very, very important to get the right foundations, to know your page structure, to know what sort of content you want to have in there, what sort of keywords you want to infuse. Keyword research being on the top of that channel when you're initially trying to put up a website together. So audit helps you in every stage. So initially with the strategy, you put it all together. Then 6 months down the track or 3 months down the track, you look to make sure the health of the website is looking good. That's for your own website. But if you're an agency, you want to do the audit every quarter anyways to make sure websites moving in the right direction, you have the right structure, you're keeping up with the competition, and you know exactly what's happening in the market. So all of those things. And I read this article somewhere, I can't remember, but just the website audit as a niche or as an industry is a multi-million-dollar business. So people making millions just doing audits, nothing else. So they don't do any implementation. They just look at the website, find the errors, and tell the business what the errors are. So it's super, super important. Can't hear you, Chris.
Sorry, I was muted. So what are some of the tools that you like to use? Are you still there? You're kind of frozen. Oh, there you are.
Yeah, no, I'm here.
Okay. What are some of the tools you like to use? I assume that you're not, when you say an audit, you don't just mean stick the site in Sitebulb and then just do whatever it spits out, right? You mean manually like going in and looking at it, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So
I'll
what are
show
some of
you a
the tools
few.
that
I'll
you
show
use?
you a few examples of the tools that I use. But there are some simple, basic tools. So if you're doing a regular audit on your own website that you did the right strategy for, you can use tools like Detail.io. It's a Chrome extension. You can use SEO Meta in one click. Then you got a free tool called Screaming Frog. And if you just want to check your rankings, there you can just type in Google, you'll come up with Hoth at the top. Hoth has got a free ranking checkout where you can just plug in your website, it'll spit out a few keywords that you're ranking for. Because what's really important is when you're checking your own website, you want to see which keywords you're ranking for. So you can plan your content strategy accordingly. If you have a cannibalization issue, it'll show up there as well, because one keyword will be ranking on 2 pages. So that's competing with each other. So you can find all those things just by looking at your organic keywords on any of the free tools. Or you can get Screaming Frog, or you can get SEMrush, Ahrefs, those premium tools. They are premium for a reason. They obviously give you a lot more insights into your website very, very quickly.
Okay. And then but most of it's just your brain is the number one tool, right?
100%. So data is one thing, data analysis is another thing. So I can give you a bunch of data on a spreadsheet, but what that means to you if there's no analysis behind it, I think that's where the manual interaction comes in, manual intervention comes in, where you go in and look at those numbers and see what it means. You look at the backlinks and you see which ones are good, which ones are bad. Even if Ahrefs got a new feature called best links, it'll tell you something is a best link, but it's all based on a algorithm. How accurate the algorithm is, no one knows. Google's showing some shit results these days on page 1. So you know what algorithm's doing at the moment. But you got to do the right thing. You got to follow the best practice, and eventually that's the only thing that's going to help you rank.
Excellent. So what if you're given a new site, like what, you don't have to go to the whole thing, but like what's something you immediately look at, like the very, very first thing you look at before you even start like putting your thoughts into a spreadsheet or whatever you use? What's the very first thing you look at?
Basic on-page elements and page structure. I think that's the first thing I'll look at. I'll look at the title, description, headers, how they have structured it, what the CTAs on the pages are, if they have put the right elements at the right spot, and if they have got enough content to rank.
Okay. One of my favorite things to look at when I first take over a new project is the title tag on the homepage. If it still says home, I know that's like an instant win that I can get, because just fixing that will improve your ranking if it's still screwed up like that. And there's a shocking number of sites out there like that. In fact, now that I'm thinking about it, that's something I can probably build into Legit Leads, is to look at like the title tag of sites and see ones that just say home, and then outreach to those people and say, if you fix this one thing, it'll improve your SEO. So here's how you do it. And then we can be like, if you want better results than that, then let us talk about it. And so see there, I just came up with a client getting method just from that one thing. So
I think another common one that I've seen is the canonicals. So developers sometimes don't bother, but they'll have a site running on www, and then they have a site running without a www as well. So you got parallel sites running at the same time. And that has been a very common issue that I've found.
Fun fact, we had that going on Legit until like 2022. And I was aware of it to some extent, and I was just afraid to like choose one. Yeah, but eventually we just sucked it up and chose the non-www version because it had more ranking. So we figured it just made sense to go with that, and it ended up not having any problems at all. But I was very, very nervous to make that change on such a large site. But
so you would think Google will be smart. You'll think Google will be smart enough to put them all together, all eggs in one basket. But it's like technically you've got 4 businesses running at the same time if you've got 4 versions of it. So some of the easy fixes where you can just go in, make sure the canonicals are set correctly. Other thing that I've seen on a new website, the pages are set to no index because developers don't bother to change that tag after the website's gone live. So I've had people saying, I've had the website for 4 months. It hasn't even appeared on Google anywhere. And we go in and check because the site's not even indexed. Or homepage is indexed, but none of the service pages are indexed. So these are some of the issues that I've come across while doing audits for 2 years.
Going back to the 4 separate businesses things, they even like, I hate that Search Console is like that. You have to add the domain version and the HTTP version and the HTTPS version and the HTTPS www and the HTTP www. Why isn't it smart enough to like lump those all into one site? Like, I'm not expecting you to answer that, but like, You know what I mean? Like it should be smart enough to understand that that's the same thing.
And I think that's the thing, because it's running as 4 different websites.
Yeah.
So that's why canonicals are used. So if you have canonical set up, then you only need to add one site. Every data will be pointed to that site. So Google doesn't want to take that responsibility on themselves.
Yeah. All right. Well, we've talked about this a lot, but it's probably a little hard for people to maybe visualize. Would it be too much to ask for you to do like a site audit live for us? Is that something you can do?
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
Okay. So what you'll do is you'll click if you're ready, whenever you're ready, there's a little ribbon at the bottom. If you click present, and then I'll add you to the stage.
Okay, cool. Just give me 1 second. Let me get started.
I think you may have shared the wrong screen.
Which one can you see?
I can see the one with you and me on it.
Yep, that's the one.
Oh, this? There we go. All right.
All right. So, because I've been doing a lot of work with the real estate investors across US, so I picked up one of those sites that I've just been looking at reaching out to this guy as a potential client. So, as I said earlier, so you can do audit for a few reasons. First is when you're doing your own website, you get a strategy together, you do an audit for that. Second one is you do a quick audit for your existing clients if you're an agency. And the third one is a detailed audit if your rankings are going down, if you're seeing any issues coming up and getting the results that you want. And the fourth one is when you're doing the outreach. So, a lot of people do outreach, as you suggested, Chris. If you put that in legit leads that the title's not working, that's one quick win that you have got to reach out and make it more personal for the person that you're reaching out to. So this website I picked up to do my outreach and go, what's wrong with this guy? If I can do a detailed audit in like 10, 15 minutes, put a video together, and in the email, I send him all that information. And that becomes more personal for him to absorb and easy to sort of digest exactly what I'm talking about. Hope that makes sense.
Yes, sir. I'm just putting it on mute so I don't get any background noise.
No, that's right. Okay, cool. So as you can see the website, this is Sell My House Fast San Antonio. So this is the real estate investors. First thing I would look at is, because I mentioned SEO Meta in one click, Chrome extension or detailed SEO extension. I was a big fan of SEO Meta in one click. I don't know when I changed to detail, but I've been using it for the last 3 years now. So what I do is I just go in, click on the homepage, and it gives me a quick brief of the homepage. So first thing I see is we buy houses San Antonio, Texas. Tick, that's the main keyword. That's what they're trying to rank. And then in the brackets, I see sell my house fast for cash. So this to me is stuffed. First thing up. Even if it's within the characters, I would just go, nah, you need to change this. You need to be smarter to come up with both the keywords in the same sentence within the 60 characters. That would be my first suggestion. Description, people will argue and they'll probably kill me for it, but I wouldn't go over 160 characters. I know it may not have any impact, but unless you're smart enough to leave it hanging at 160 characters, so you have a question at the end which is not answered, where people are curious to click and find the answers, it's a different thing. Otherwise, make it brief, keep it simple, have the right intent in the description. It's your real estate. Use it wisely, no matter whatever someone says. Stick to the basics, and you'll get it right. So that'll be the second suggestion. And then you can obviously see if the URL is indexable, if the canonical is self-referencing. This is where you'll find out if all the versions of the sites are working correctly or not. I don't usually look at these things because they're just crap. You don't need to have keywords here. Word count 2597. It looks pretty heavy. But again, to see whether it's good or not, you have tools like Surfer, SEO, Phrase, and a few others where you can go and check whether your content's up to the point, right word count, etc. And then it shows me that there's one H1, so that's a tick. and then it's got 11 H2s. That's bloody too much. It's no point having that many. So then I go into the next tab where I talk about, or where I look at the headings. So sell my house fast, San Antonio. Remember we saw We Buy Houses San Antonio as a title? My golden rule is have the primary keyword as your H1. Have your secondary keywords as your H2. Don't have more than 3 to 4 secondary keywords on any page, which is not more than 3 to 4 H2s. If I look at this one, it's got 11. And then you'll start looking at the quality of these H2s. So, this industry runs on 3 primary keywords: sell my house fast, we buy houses, and cash home buyers. I would stick to those 3 for this industry for any page. But for this example, we got we buy house San Antonio's in all situations. How do I sell my house fast for cash? So this looks like the developer used it for the size, not for the intent or for SEO. So I would definitely put a note to that and get them all changed. Then you look at H3s, sell my house fast Antonio. We got this as H1, and then we got this as H3 as well. It's a bit confusing. Don't do that. Stick to 1 primary keyword as H1, 3 or 4 secondary keywords as H2. H3 should be just semantic keywords. I don't put a limit to it usually, but try not go overboard with these things. Keep it simple. It's like a menu, or it's like the title page for your book, which is only explaining what have you got in your book. If you put too much, you confuse the reader on the very first page. So keep it simple, make it succinct for readers and Google both. And then I go in and I see cash for houses in San Antonio twice, cash home buyers, cash for houses, just stuffed all the way through. So this is an easy fix. Get it down to what needs to be done. But one thing that you'll notice, this site is made on Carrot. So Carrot's not really that simple. You can't use CSS to make the changes. So you'll have to be really smart on how you get rid of these titles. Sorry if I'm jumping here and there, but things like this, cash home buyer San Antonio, Texas, it's bold, it's H2 right now. If I need to make it H3, I can just change it, or I can change the words and have this just, on any other website, you can just do CSS and change it to keep the size, but remove the H2. Developers will be better to answer that one anyways. That's that. On headers, check it thoroughly, make sure it's making sense, and make sure you have it right. These are, again, basics of your on page. Make sure you have them right. This gives you a quick analysis on your links. It says total links 134, unique 120, internal 124, external 10. I don't think that's right, but we can see external links. I usually use Hrefs, or you can see it in your GSC. And internal links you can find in Href and Screaming Frog, which I'll show you after this. So it says internal links, where the links are coming from. We'll show you anchor text as well. That's one way of looking at it, but it's going to be too detailed if you're looking at a big website. So I usually use Screaming Frog for this analysis and Href. I'll come back to that one. You can see images. You can see images without alt tag and without title. Again, basic fixes, get them done. It'll help you. Schema. You can see the schema. You can check, rich text snippets, rich snippets data, or whatever that's called. It's changed from schema.org. So that will tell you what schemas you're using on your website. The easy fix to that is run your competitors, see what schemas that they have on the top 3 positions, and use them. Don't need to use your brain, honestly. Just whatever the top 3 websites are using, copy and paste, reverse engineer. Don't have to use anything brand new here. Socials, I usually don't go after that. In advance, you have a few things which you can link to. Page speed insights, if you want to check your website speed. Sometimes if I see prominent issues, so for example, if I see any CLS issues, so you can see the page, if you look at the menu bar, it loads a little slower. It's like a millisecond difference. After loading, the things move. So I'll check for these things. If I see it's moving a bit slowly, I'll go into page insights, try looking at the website speed, see how it's doing. So that's more technical, but definitely something worth checking. So structured data is the schema tool that I was talking about to check. So let's just look at the page speed anyways to see what it says for this website. And in the meantime, while it's running, we'll go to Screaming Frog and we will run this website in Screaming Frog. I don't know if you guys are familiar with it, but all you got to do is put the website in there, use HTML because you don't want the other images pages. This is all fluff. You don't want to talk. You don't want to worry about it. I go HTML. I put this tree table view because this helps me categorize the pages within, if it's under services, blogs, and then you can see it that way. You can, again, get rid of the fluff when you're talking about it. So you just click start and it'll start crawling the site for you. Unlicensed version on Screaming Frog can give you up to 500 URLs. If the site's bigger than that, you'll need to get a license for it as well. But we're talking about small audits here, so it should do most of the tricks. Okay, look at this one. So mobile speeds 58, the rest looks good. We have FCP, LCP. I wouldn't worry too much about it as long as I see greens here. Performance, yes, mobile can be approved, but desktop is where you'll see it. So I think from the website that I've audited, 80 or 90% of the websites have had issues with mobile speed. Desktops usually look better than mobile. Any developer can answer that for me. That would be great. But if you look at LCP, CLS here, they all look good. So technically, I don't have any issues with this website's speed. So that's on page from title, descriptions, etc. just for this page. What if I need to check all the pages for this website? That's where I'm running that Screaming Frog. But before we go there, I'm going to stick to this page and start going through the page to see how it pans out when someone's, from a user journey perspective, from a CTA perspective, from a CRO perspective, what does it look like when people are looking at this page? So a lot of blab all the way till here. Good thing is they've got the form right here with a big get my cash offer title. So that's one tick for me. Google review, they could link it to their Google and they'll be really, really helpful if they have a link here that takes them to their Google reviews, or a slider here that shows a few reviews rather than just showing one review, because they're cash on buyers. They will have a few reviews if they've been in the business, and people rely a lot on these reviews. Then they talk a little bit about themselves with a CTA, fantastic. Same thing with Facebook reviews. If they have a scroller thing here, which shows them exactly what needs to be done. And then it goes through a lot of blab, 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 blab. This one thing that I really like, people should do. But here, what they have done is they've embedded a map of San Antonio where they have a GBP, and they could instead embed their GBP map. It'll help both the website and the GBP. It tells Google it's a legit business, and they both get promoted. So that's one thing I would change here. Then they obviously have location pages, millions of location pages. You can see by categories. Buy my house cash San Antonio, sell my house fast San Antonio, sell my house fast San Antonio. All they've done is they've given different titles to locations. So all of them are just locations. This is unnecessary. Keyword stuffing as well. Scrolling down, cash for houses in San Antonio. This picture has got nothing to do with it because they're not a renovation company. They don't need to show before and after. So unnecessary image. You can go and check the alt tag, the title for this image, to see what they're talking about. If they're trying to infuse keywords, they're trying to show that they repair really well, but that's not their business. So unnecessary image, get rid of it. Lot of blab. I think it's got a lot of content. But again, unless you've seen the competition, you've seen what competitors are doing, if they're using the same sort of words, same sort of content, word count, then it's probably is good. Screaming Frog should be done by now, or probably it's not, but I've downloaded this already, so we don't have to wait. We don't have to waste our time. Ta-da. So this is what will come out from Screaming Frog when you extract that file into an Excel. You can see it shows you the path. The path 2 is your main URL. And how we were talking about Chris, if there's a canonical issue on the website, this will show 4 different path twos. It'll show one without www, one with HTTP, one with HTTPS, etc. So that's one way you can actually pick whether there's something going on with there as well. We've checked the detail as well, but this will double show that. Path 3, so these are their location pages, and this is obviously the URL that they have. So one thing I do is I go in indexable. I only look for the indexable pages, not the non-indexable pages to start with. And then I want to check the status. One thing to throw here, Chris, I'm actually working on simplified tool where you can just put this data and it'll spit out all the errors in this data on the next tab. And I will be happy to share it with you so you can share it with the team. It should be coming out in the next month. So that'll help people. Yeah, thanks. They'll help people navigating through this data at ease rather than going through what I'm doing right now. So I've got G sheets right now where I could put formulas, but they don't work that well. So I'm working with a developer to develop something which can help do this at ease. Because I love the data that comes out of Screaming Frog. So for example, indexable, we selected everything 200. So if there was any 404 pages, we would see it right here. In this instance, the website doesn't have any 404 pages, which is fantastic. Then I step into titles. So I can here see all the titles for all the pages on the website. So how you're looking at the detailed.io, we could only see one page at a time. Here you can see everything at bulk. So if you're doing multiple pages for a site, if you're looking for potential errors across cannibalization errors, etc., you can pick from here. So first thing I pick from here is we got We Buy Houses Nixon and then Sell My House Fast for Cash. See this constant Sell My House Fast for Cash on every page. That is stupid. Sorry to use that word, but this is wrong. This is whoever decided to do this, I had no idea what they're doing. Try to stuff a keyword on all the pages, none of them is going to work. What I do other than that is, in my cheat sheet, I've got a formula on this title. So anything that's under 50 words or over 70 words, it spits out red for me, and I know those red needs to be fixed. So in this instance, if I go number filter greater than 70, shows me these pages. And now, before you make a decision on whether you want to correct it or not, these are blogs. Most of them are blog pages here. So who should buy? You can spend time in correcting it if it means anything to you, but things like this is definitely an error. So if this is what this page is showing, you want to go and correct it because blogs are important. It's content marketing eventually. So fix those errors. This is like fixing it at bulk. You need to know where exactly you're looking, and then you look for number filters less than 50. And as I said, going through this manually takes a lot of time, but the tool that I'm working on should be able to split all of that in the next tab, so you know exactly which is the error pages that you need to correct, and you just go and correct them. So this one, for example, sits at 49. I have to be really deep and intentional to make this over 50 words, but 49 should do. But we know this is not correct. Sell My House Fast in Nixon, Texas, and we are talking about Sell My House Fast for Cash. So keep it simple. Title 1 should be your H1, nothing else. And try and use your real estate as much as you can. You get 60 characters, 65 will be okay, but using 60 in the most precise way will get you the win. The next thing, then it goes into the meta description. You will see most of their meta description is going to be exactly the same. So this is, again, the bulk created the location pages. But hey, you don't do that to your homepage, right? If this is the main page, San Antonio is your bread and butter, you don't want to do that to it. You can create location pages automatically with the bulk page filter with titles description. But if any of these locations have a decent amount of volume, you want to go in and you want to optimize it. You want to make it right. You can leave the rest if there's hardly any volume for, let's say, Selma. Don't bother. But if there is Nixon, Texas, giving you leads, or Google says it's got search volume, go and correct it, because these are easy fixes, right? So you see the meta descriptions and you clearly see this needs to be corrected. Again, for meta description, you have a designated limit. Use that limit to your best capacity. It's your real estate. Use it wisely. Get it correct. Done and dusted. Then it goes into H1, H2. It shows you all the data here. It's got every page. So fantastic. This has got H1. We saw that one when in detailed. The rest of the pages don't even have a H1. So whenever the location pages were created, they didn't bother. H2s are there, which is good. So check that, correct that for your main locations, get your money. Then you have, I skipped through a lot of it and I come to word count because it's got a lot of fluff that you really don't need to worry about. You look for low content pages. So, the least that they have, anything under 500, I call it a low content page. See what's the relevance of that page, because your about us, your company, your testimonials won't have that many words. If that's the pages coming in that, ignore it. If you have blogs that are under 500 words, really, why do you have that blog? have some content in it, stuff it up a little bit, make it juicy so people can come and read, and you can use them for internal linking too. So all of that will help you get to where you need to get to. I ignore the rest of the stuff anyway. So I go into readability. They've got a readability here. Yeah, very easy, fairly easy. I have still not figured out exactly how they call something, how they differentiate between these three categories. But if I see anything that says really hard, that concerns me, I go in and try and fix that to make it easy, if not fairly easy. So this is how I use Screaming Frog, and it works really, really well. Next thing I would do is I will look at their backlinks and their internal linkings. So for backlinks and internal linkings, I use Href. But before that, I want to look at their organic keywords as well. So as I mentioned, I use Href, but you can go in and use Path Organic Keyword Checker. Again, not promoting any of the tools here, not affiliated to anyone, but not that one. Sorry, just one second. Getting myself sorted. Here it is. So pick this. Throw it in here. I think you can use it. You can use Uber Suggest for this as well. Again, not promoting Neo. And Chris, if you know any other tool, feel free to throw in the free tools where people don't have to pay any money. So this one, for example,
Legit get more stuff done dashboard.
Yeah, there you go. Sorry, I should have mentioned that one first. But you have to add your website to it, right?
For now, come see me tomorrow.
Oh, shit. I should have used that one. I should have known before. Anyways, so guys, legit dashboard is your only tool that you should go to check your rankings. Ignore this one. This is only for training purposes. But here you will see which keywords are driving the most traffic, and it'll show you the volume, it'll show you the rank, and then you know exactly which keywords you need to go after. So sell my house fast. So, sell my house, sell your house, Portland. Rank is 90, but the volume is 30. So what you will find in this market, the volume is not going to be that great. It's not going to be in millions because not a lot of people are in these cities. But anything over 100 is a good win if you can get. So for example, in this one, you got sell my house fast, Austin, Texas, 140 to Austin, Texas, 210, 390. All of them should get you some good results. So that's how you check your keywords, and this is how you use these keywords to go back and optimize that on page to make sure they are embedded in correctly in there. So for backlinks and internal linkings, I use Href, but you can go into GSC and you can use GSC for that. So I'll go in Href now because that's all I have. You can see all the data in here. I don't know how familiar you are with Href, but you just click on backlinks and it'll show you all the backlinks that this website's got. I usually go do follow. because I don't want to worry about anything that's no follow. I know they have relevance, but for me, most relevance is the do follow ones. So if you remember in detail.io, it showed the links were only about 10 links. It could be just for the homepage. But if I go in here, it shows me 274 do follow links. And then you can see new and lost, a history for the last 30 days, etc. And then I usually export it because I want to see the anchor text. So let's just do that. And that's a general health check of the backlinks to make sure we're using the right anchors, we're getting the right sites, we're not getting smashed by someone doing negative SEO with really bad backlinks. So you can see the website here, you can see their domain rating, you can see their domain traffic. You can look at the other stuff as well, but it's up to you. But I usually try and match these two. So if the domain rating is really, really high and traffic is really, really low, that's most likely is a spammy site. Someone's increased the DR by all the wrong means, and it's not something you really want to be associated with. That brings you to the question: if you want to disavoid those links, I'll always take it with a pinch of salt. If I have all the links with that sort of metrics, I would disavoid. But if I've only got a few and I've got a good mix of other good and bad links, I'll just ignore it. And the other thing I'm really interested in is the anchor. So cash for houses San Antonio, for example, as an anchor, I want to make sure it's targeted on the right page, which it is. So wherever it's coming from, this link, they've used the anchor cash for houses San Antonio, Texas, and it's going to the homepage, which is a tick. There are instances where you'll find that they're targeting for this keyword on homepage, but the link is going to a location page, or link is going to the about page, contact page, irrelevant pages. So you want to make sure you use the right anchor for the right page. So I won't go deeper into it. And this is how you check the backlinks. And I would just go and do a quick check to make sure there are not many spammy links, their anchor text usage is correct. And then I'll come back, bounce back, and I'll go into internal linking. This is one of my favorite parts because the amount of errors I see in internal linking, the amount of people using internal linking or not using internal linking optimally is just massive. I don't think internal linking has got the respect that it should have in the SEO industry. And it's a gift that keeps on giving. You get this correct, you can boost a lot of stuff here. So I'll go straight into it. What I want to see here again is we are anchoring to the right page with the right anchor. Because if you don't do that, you get into all sort of troubles. So the way to check, I'll get rid of all this fluff. All right. All I want to see is the right anchor going to the right page. And sometimes you'll find is the same anchor going to multiple pages. Don't do that. That's just a big no-no. One anchor, one page, one main keyword for one page. See, this is what I mean. Austin home buyers. So Selma House, Fast Austin, Texas. Cash home buyers, Austin, Texas. And Austin home buyers going from this to this. Where is the main location for this keyword? It was the home page. It wasn't not Selma. So that actually shows me another thing, that they put a page for Selma House Austin, and they're trying to rank V by House Austin on the home page. So that's a big no-no. So they should not have this page. They should redirect this page. So now you've found two problems here: wrong anchor and wrong URL. So they should not have this page if they're targeting that main page on the home page. Look at one more, and then we'll step out of here. See, this is the other problem. So we have a page we are trying to rank for V by houses or Selma House. So that's for V by houses, San Antonio. They're not even used one anchor on any of the pages, any of the blog pages, to send back to the home page to target that keyword. So that is where internal linking goes wrong. They have, we saw in Screaming Frog, I think they had plenty of So that one. Oh, hang on, sorry. That one here. So they have what? A lot of blogs, lots and lots of blogs. None of these blogs are pointing to the homepage with the anchor text. That is just wasting the blogs and wasting the usage. Even if the blogs are not ranking enough, they don't have a lot of backlinks. Internal linking create a solid structure within a website for Googlebot to navigate through it to the right page at the right time. So if Google comes and indexes or crawling this blog page, and it has anchors that take it back to the home page for those primary keywords, Google will know that that primary page has the meat to rank for it. So very, very important, get that right, and this will help you ranking. I just wanted to show you a very quick example of wrong internal linking, which I put it on my Facebook as well as a post, but I see this a lot. So this is another guy that reached out to me for an audit. This website, inspectioncenter.com, is mainly building and pest inspection in Brisbane. So you can clearly see they targeted that keyword on homepage. But when I went in, I saw the same thing on a internal page as well. It's like, okay, what exactly are they trying to do? They're trying to do a pre-purchase, but then there's a pre-purchase page as well. So leaving that aside, I think what I found amusing in this one is, see this, pre-purchase building and pest inspection Brisbane, pre-purchase building and pest inspection in Brisbane, pre-purchase building and pest inspection Brisbane. Let's see where this takes us. It takes us to a blog page. Fantastic. Where this takes us, it takes us to another page on this website, which is similar to what we had. And this one takes us to another blog page. This is pure and simple wrong. Do not do that. First thing, if you can tell me two wrong things with this, first one will be, this page is targeting this keyword. Why would you anchor it out to another page? Second thing is, if it wasn't targeting this keyword, if it was targeting building and pest inspection, then this should go to the pre-purchase building and pest inspection Brisbane page only. If they don't have a page for that, it goes to a blog, or from the blog, you get the link back to this page. You don't do this at all. So I think I've chewed up a lot of time already. I'll stop here for any questions.
First of all, before we get into any questions, can everybody thank Amit for that? That was very in-depth, and that was really just the tip of the iceberg, but because I know you could go a lot longer. But everyone, please thank Amit for that, and I'll go review what questions we've had while you're doing that. But please let him know in the chat and in the comments.
Thanks, Chris.
Go up a little bit. Everyone was kind of quiet because they were probably paying attention. So Tala says, how do you incorporate user intent analysis and semantic search considerations into the framework of an SEO audit to ensure alignment with evolving search engine algorithms and user behavior trends? No disrespect, but that comment reads like it was written by ChatGPT. But I'm going to pass that one over to Amit.
Thanks. Okay, let me read it again. How do you incorporate user intent analysis and semantic? So look, user intent analysis, I think the easy word you're talking about is keywords that have search volume, or keywords that are directly related to a direct query. And semantic search considerations is keywords that are similar to that intent. Correct me, Tala, if that's not what you mean. Into the framework of an SEO audit. So I think what I mentioned was keyword research being one of the most important things when you're setting up a strategy for a website. If it's your own website, or if you're an agency and doing it for a client, once you have incorporated that keyword analysis, in that keyword analysis, you need to make sure you're picking up on direct keywords. As I said, primary keyword. The primary keyword needs to be your bread and butter. Then you have semantics or secondary keywords where it's related. So for example, I'm a car repair guy. So my first primary, let's say I'm a diesel mechanic. My primary keyword is diesel mechanic. My secondary keyword will be if I have a specialization in four-wheel drives. So that'll be diesel mechanics four-wheel drive. My third category of keywords will be what all goes through in a diesel engine. So if I'm creating a blog strategy, for example, I want to look at what is a diesel engine made up of, where it gets used. And if I'm only specifying 4-wheel drives, I want to make sure I talk a little bit about 4-wheel drives as well, what they are, and then link it back to how they got a diesel engine that makes them run smoothly because of X and Y and Z reasons. So it's all incorporated in that keyword strategy. Hope that answers your question.
All right. And Tosh says, make Amit rich. Please buy him a Mac first. Well, I appreciate the sentiment, but I'm rich and I use a PC too because I like to actually be able to do things.
It's funny how people relate Apple to richness.
A lot of people just are Apple stands. I had this argument with Jim, our partner at Legit, about all the time because he's an Apple guy too.
Yeah, look, I'll give that and the guy the answer as well. I use Google Pixel as a phone, and I bought my wife an iPhone 15, the latest one, whatever that one, Platinum is. The camera is shit. My Pixel is 2 years old and it takes better pictures. I took it to Apple. And the guy was like, "Oh, what's wrong with the camera?" I said, "I don't know. There's something wrong with the camera." And he goes, "Oh, can you show me?" I was like, "How can I show you the picture? I took a picture with iPhone 13 and I took a picture with this. The quality is shit."
I actually am
half
an
an hour to
iPhone
prove
guy.
it.
I just don't use a Mac PC, but I use Apple for pretty much everything else. So let's see.
Yeah.
Richest Domains. There's your free plug. It says, "G'day from cloudy Arizona at Chris and Walker and all. New to channel. Sorry so late." No problem. You can watch it again wherever you're watching it now. Great content. I'll have to watch 2 or 3 times to really grasp it. There was a lot there. Yeah.
Yeah, thanks, Bob. Sorry, I get a bit emotional when I'm doing the audits. So if you have any questions,
there's a
feel
lot
free to
cover.
reach out.
Yeah.
Feel free to reach out.
I will need to, I assume he means replay no matter what. By the way, please continue. We'll restream. Very interesting. It feels like I'm in a class. Thanks, Amit, for that presentation. Okay. We got about 2 minutes left. So if there's any more questions, please ask them now. And then we're going to wrap up because Amit needs to start his day and I have another meeting coming up. While we're on the subject, please, if you're watching on YouTube, click the subscribe button and the notification bell for me. I have a lot of great guests coming up. In fact, I'm back again on Friday night with Saket Wahi, who's going to be talking to us about PBN links and some other things. And then there'll be a regular video dropping either today or tomorrow. And we do 3 videos a week. And we got a ton of great live stream guests coming up in the near future. I've got next week, I have Kellen Gergerev. I'm probably pronouncing that wrong. Terry Samuels and Julian Goldie. And then next week, I have Gregory Ortiz and Jake Hundley. And then the week after that, I have Greg Jeffries and Randy Rohde. And then after that, I have Tim Schmidt, Eldar Cohen, and Priyank Soni. And I've got some other irons in the fire too. So there's going to be a lot of great conversations here in the next few weeks. So be sure to subscribe. It really helps me out. I've spent a lot of time, money, and effort into the YouTube channel, into this channel. So thank you. Anis says, "What's your strategy for GBP ranking? How do you do an audit for Google Maps ranking? Is it similar or is it different or what do you do?"
Look, there are a lot of tools that you can use for Google Maps. To be honest, there's not a lot of manual intervention you can do in it. If you don't have access to someone's GBP, you can only see the description that they put in. You can only see the pictures, the images, etc. So there's not a lot of depth I think you can go into GBP, and it's not my expertise area anyways.
Yeah.
I do GBP for the existing clients, but I use tools for that.
Yeah. I kind of hate that. I kind of hate Google Maps SEO, to be honest, because it's like so inconsistent. Like what works with one will not work with the next one. And then there's shit that they tell you not to do that absolutely works, like putting the keyword in the business name. You know,
Yep,
why not just make that not work if you don't want people to do it? So I hate Google Maps. So I'm with you on that.
Thanks.
All right. I think that's going to be a good place to call it. If you want to, let me do one more thing. If you want to get an audit done from Amit and you want to check out his work, you can find him on legit.com/RankZenith, which I'm going to put on the page on the screen here in just a second. I'll put that in the chat as well. So you can find him there. He's got a lot of great services, including an audit service. He has an on-page service. I think he's got some link building services, internal linking strategy, and lots of other great stuff that he can really help you out with. So be sure to check him out there if you need that. This doesn't even have to really be for a new client. It can be just an audit service as well. I use it myself regularly. And then this was a featured service, and Luik is legit checked. You can find him there. And yeah, so be sure to check that out. I think that's linked in the description as well. If it's not, I'll make sure that it is later. Before we wrap up, anything else you want to say, Amit?
No, I just want to thank you for having me here. And just a recap for everyone, the 4 pillars of audit is your technical, on-page, content, and off-page. Make sure you have them all ticked in.
Perfect. All right, we will do this again sometime. In the meantime, everybody that's watching, thank you for being here. You could have been anywhere else in the world, and you chose to spend a little bit of time with us. I will never not appreciate that. And I want you to do one thing for me, and that is figure out what you want out of life and go out and get it, because you owe it to yourself and you owe it to the world. I'll see you again soon. Peace.
Thanks, guys. See you later.